Yo, 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 yo. What is going on? Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope you're off to a good start to the weekend. It's been a weird week for me, but we're here. We're here. It's the weekend. Happy to be here. Stoked to be here. Again, kind of a slower news week, but we're going to make the best out of it. We've got quite a bit of new music to check out. Still got a few news articles or just cool things happening to check out as well. So we're going to be digging into all of that today. Let me just pull up what I've planned. All right. A little bit of housekeeping, I guess. Just start off the stream. Well, people potentially come in. Start some conversation with anyone that's already here. Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah, it's been a weird week. During Saturday's stream last week, around halfway through, I started having a pretty bad headache. I don't think I actually mentioned it on stream, but I started feeling pretty shit. That stream wasn't too long of a stream anyways, so whenever I hopped off, that was that. But I ended up like sleeping most of the rest of the day to try and get it was more of a migraine than a headache, I guess. I didn't think too much of it. I guess kind of had it looming in the back of my head. I took some meds and stuff, but up until the end of the day, I still kind of felt it. But then I woke up the next morning and felt fine, so I didn't think much of it. But on the Sunday, my wife actually started feeling really, really shitty on her end. Completely different like symptoms. She didn't really have a headache or anything. It was like more of a throat hurting and stuff like that. Airy Darks, what's good, man? How you doing? And yeah, she was like knocked out for the entire day. And then I think late Sunday, turns out her best friend that she spent most of the week with was tested positive for COVID. So basically that's been my past week, kind of just dealing with that. So my wife clearly had COVID and still kind of feeling it, but she's feeling a lot better today. But she was pretty set aback by that. And then, I mean, I live with her, so what are the odds of me not getting it? But at the same time, since that headache on the Sunday, I haven't felt any. I haven't felt bad at all. Not another headache, no fever, just no symptoms at all. I know you can be like asymptomatic or whatever, still have it and like give it away, but yeah, but it's still been weird. I mean, because obviously I didn't go into work most of the week. I worked from home instead, so that was a whole thing to deal with and brought its own set of issues. And then just dealing with kind of the stress of having the vid at home. But everything seems to be pretty much back to normal now. I'm personally right now feeling really. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great. As is my girlfriend's. My wife is on the other side of the hill as well. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that. I think it probably showed on last week's stream that I was kind of off, and that would explain it. Aside from that, just in terms of housekeeping before I actually get started here, I just wanted to bring up. I'm going to plug it right away because a lot of the content, a lot of the stuff that I do, and a lot of the interactions around the community that I have are all based on the Discord server that I have going for the channel. Let me just pull this up. Here we go. All right. Airy Darks, not that good, but not that bad too. My girl got positive, but we feel better now. It was a wild week though. Oh shit, so you got it this week, or your girl got it this week as well? Yeah, I feel like in the past few weeks, basically everyone I've known has gotten it. At least anyone who hasn't gotten it in the past has just gotten it. Yeah, it's been a weird week here too. So we've got the Discord. I just wanted to bring it up real quick because I've been doing a lot of thinking around it, and it's been cool to kind of see where people are actually talking. And you know, I set up this Discord with a bunch of categories, a bunch of different like channels and you know, sub channels and stuff to try and, you know, just maximize what people could do with the server. And you know, as time goes on and as more people are coming in, I'm kind of starting to get a feel for what people prefer doing and what channels people are interacting with more and stuff. So I did a big cleanup and took out a bunch of categories that I felt were kind of useless or people didn't use that much. And the main thing that I found was there seemed to be a gravitation towards what would be like kind of a general chat, I guess. And there wasn't really something that was explicitly set up for it. So I set that up. I changed one of the channels for that, and it's been cool, man. A lot of people have just been talking back and forth and actually discussing on it a lot more than when it was all kind of segregated into different channels and stuff. So yeah, just a cool just thought I'd mention that real quick in terms of the Discord having some changes. And if you're not a part of it, there's obviously a link for that in the description below. So that's it for housekeeping real quick. Let me bring this back up here. Airy Darks, yes, we both got it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with me is I feel like there's no shot I didn't get it. There's no way I didn't get COVID. So, you know, I lived my week as though I had it, even though I had no symptoms. But it's weird, right? Because maybe, I mean, there's no way, but there's like that 1% chance that I didn't get it, I guess. It's just weird because, you know, we can't do... we don't have these like clinical tests anymore where we used to be able to do, unless we actually like go to private, I guess, and pay for it. So we have these home tests now here. I don't know how it is elsewhere, but the home tests don't necessarily pick everything up, and you can have COVID and not have it show up as positive on the thing. So I mean, I tested negative the entire week, but like, there's no way. There's no way I didn't get COVID. I mean, we slept in the same bed. Like, there's no... I don't know. But, yeah. Let's, what do we got here? I just got, like, a few, I guess... really laid back news articles, and then we're going to check out some of the tour announcements from the weeks and a few cancellations that happened, and then we've got a bunch of new music to check out. So let's get into that. I thought I would bring this up first because this thing, it's not really news, but it's a merch drop from Rising Merch. Those of you who don't know, Rising Merch, they do a bunch of stuff with some mainly deathcore and death metal bands, but some hardcore bands as well. But you can kind of get an idea just by seeing the list here. You know, Acrania, Angel Maker, Annotations of an Autopsy, Body Snatcher, Brenda Sager. You know, this is very heavily deathcore focused. Some of the guys in Slaughter to Prevail are behind Rising Merch, so you get the influence there. But yeah, there's they put out this Valentine's drop, which I just found freaking amazing. They're basically most of them are like collaborations between like two bands. So we've got this Angel Maker artwork, but with the Vulvadinia Bob in the middle of the artwork here. So it's just like, it's a bunch of crossover stuff like this, which I find is super cool. I feel like there isn't that much of that in the metal scene, or definitely not like deathcore and death metal and all that. So this is cool to see, and it's been cool to see some pretty unlikely kind of collaborations as well. If we look here, we've got this Hatebreed Slaughter to Prevail shirt with like the American flag and the Russian flag. This is just so unexpected that a band like Hatebreed and a band like Slaughter to Prevail would mesh together. But I mean, this is badass. This is super fucking cool. Worldwide Brutality. Ari Darks, yo, the hell chose you is cute. The Carnifex one, eh? Yeah, man. Yeah, this is... So they've got some stuff like that that's just like Valentine's Day focused, I guess. But then we've got a bunch of crossover stuff. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the band name / party cannon. So the party cannon like font with this this other band that's got this incredibly long unreadable name. It's super fucking cool. Body Snatcher and Paleface, so they kind of mash their logos together with the Sanrio character. This one's cute as well, I guess. So yeah, a lot of bands going the, I guess, quote unquote cute route with the Jigglypuff here, the pink shirts. I think yeah. So this is super cool. I don't know. I just thought I'd mention this because we don't see enough kind of collaboration like this. I think they've done this in the past. Can't see it anymore, but I'm pretty sure they did the same kind of thing last year with a different set of bands and stuff. But they've been doing merch in a really, really cool way, I find. It's always kind of weird with online band merch, because like I'm looking at like a long sleeve is like $50 for me. I don't know if would be more relatable if I put this in USD, but like $40 US plus shipping. You know it's gonna cost you like $50-$60 US for a long sleeve, which is pretty fucking expensive when you know you'd get the same thing probably for like $25-$30 if it was at a show. But hey, that's just the nature of I mean, you know, cost shipping and costs. There are costs obviously behind these things. I've always loved these Hello Kitty Slaughter to Prevail shirts. This is fucking sick. But yeah, just thought I'd mention this real quick because this is really cool. The Pink Brand of Sacrifice hoodie. Yeah, I'm super down with this drop. I guess the main I mean it's not big news or anything, but the main news I think we could get to for this week is the Red Chord coming back and playing a show. They've been on hiatus, so no one really knows if they're gonna come back. Honestly, it's been 7 years. I honestly don't remember what the circumstances around them not making music anymore are or were. Definitely a weird time for a band to come back, especially if it's like for shows, considering COVID and all that. But yeah, they've been added to this lineup in Massachusetts for the Metal and Beer Fest 2022. Got bands like Cannibal Corpse, Wolves in the Throne Room, Voivod, Full of Hell. Bunch of cool bands. Not necessarily my personal cup of tea in terms of what the other bands are, but honestly, I'd almost want to go just to see the Red Corn. And on top of them reuniting for a show, and we don't really know if this means more music or more shows or anything, but they're going to perform Clients in full, which is super fucking cool because that album is an absolute classic within the genre. And I know the Red Chord, I mean, personally, and for the people around me in my life, I know the Red Chord really really influenced a lot of people from my generation in terms of heavy music, and they were like kind of associated with the deathcore crowd because they were it's like one of those bands like Animosity or Ion Dissonance. I think just because of who they were friends with and some of the influences that were in their sound, and just the fact that they were, I guess, blending genres to begin with, it kind of just fit with deathcore. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really consider the Red Chord deathcore, but they had like definite like death metal, yet hardcore, yet mathcore influences, right? And made for something kind of unique, but super heavy at the same time. So these guys were always playing with deathcore bands. Yo, Cryptic, what's going on? How you doing, man? Glad you're here. Let's actually pull up a song from the Red Chord, because for anyone who doesn't know them, really, really fucking great band. Kind of like a Man Must Die, Plasma Rifle, some Ion Dissonance, definitely like Animosities, one of those bands that definitely meshed well with them. All these kind of grindy mathcore bands. Arsonists Get All the Girls, Heavy Low, See You Next Tuesday. You know, there's like a wave of that weird, experimental, grindy kind of band. Cryptic says, reminds me of Glassjaw and Converge combined in the instrumentation. Yeah, definitely. There's something about that. It being raw and how chaotic it is. And this is one of those bands that just listening to the music and how raw it sounds, you can tell that these guys are probably absolutely nuts live. Like, this is for sure a live band. You know, some bands don't translate well. Like, you can tell it's like super produced and maybe too fast or kind of inhuman. Kind of makes you doubt whether they'd be good live or not. I have no doubt that the Red Chord is fucking amazing live. I unfortunately was never able to see them when they were together. I love the vocals on this. See, and like they'll go into these like different genres like this, you know, into like a big two-step kind of thing. Kind of Despised Icon would do this sort of riffing right in the middle of the super death metal deathcore song. So I think that's where they got a lot of their like deathcore adjacent placement. Cryptic. This slaps. Yeah, dude. These guys go fucking hard. Yeah, man, that's the red chord for you if you didn't know. I think this was like it's not showing, but they had a few albums out actually. I think four albums. Yeah, so they have 4 albums. But Clients was definitely the more iconic album of the bunch. If you ask me, I played this album so much when I was younger. Yeah, that's the red chord. So yeah, they're coming back. They're playing a show. Who knows if they're gonna make new music? Who knows if they're gonna play more shows? I mean, it doesn't mention anything about it being like an exclusive show or anything, or at least not in this. Maybe there's a flyer I could find that would say something else, but. Let me look it up actually. Metal and Beer Fest. Metal and Beer Fest 2022. Okay, there is a flyer. Bands and breweries announced. Is there? Okay. Red chord performing Clients in its entirety. Okay, so there's nothing more that's mentioned. It doesn't say that anything's it's not like an exclusive show or anything. But yeah, it's a pretty fucking cool fest, man. Cryptic says, what was your opinion on the albums I'd made if I had a band? Put it in your Discord, wondering what albums you'd make also. Yeah, I saw that this morning. I actually didn't wake up too long ago. I read through the bands that you mentioned, the styles that you would do, but I didn't hear. Yeah, I actually have it pulled up here, and then I've been giving it some thought. I mean, this is like you went for like 6 albums. I'm a pretty simple man, I guess, when it comes to, I guess, the music I think I would enjoy making. So yeah, just to give everybody context, the post here, it's if y'all could make a band and have each album be a different genre, what would it be? So his list was a first album being deathcore, sounding like darker US. Second being some post-metal, grungy, shoegazy, metalcore fusion, which sounds pretty insane. Ranging from Loath to Fleeting Joys to Teenage Wrist to Deftones to Glassjaw. I don't know who Fleeting Joys or Teenage Wrist are, but I think I can understand the Loath, Deftones, Glassjaw kind of vibe. Third album would be an electronic heavy album, dark synth, similar vibes to TTS by That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon, but also sounding like The Word Alive. The vocals would be heavy on the R&B side, maybe like Issues. The guitar work would be gent styled but more technical, maybe sounding like something to Era to Iron Maiden. I draw inspo from Silent Planet to Siamese to Northlane and other mentioned bands. Well, I think Issues does that sort of thing maybe really well. Kind of like the gentler kind of sound with a really good singing voice. Okay, Cryptic's putting some input here. Teenage Wrist is a grungy shoegaze band. Fleeting Joys is a shoegaze dream pop band. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with anything, I guess, shoegaze and that whole sort of style. But yeah, so yeah, I can. So what I'm hearing here is like Issues, but maybe with a more kind of technical, like instrumental vibe. I'm a real sucker for vocals that sound maybe a bit more quote unquote R&B or whatever. Issues being one of those. I know, like the After Image brand, I mean the band that was that turned into Brand of Sacrifice. Kyle Anderson, if people don't know, the singer for Brand of Sacrifice, has one of the most amazing fucking clean vocal voices. Obviously don't hear that in Brand of Sacrifice, but if you check out the After Image, he has a really fucking awesome singing voice. And I could see him do something a little bit more R&B, but also have heavy vocals. That would fit super well. Fourth album being some swancore, math rock, pop, and R&B fusion. Wouldn't be super heavy, but it'd have that random noodle guitar work like Dance Gavin Dance. It would be more contemporary R&B vocals, pop heavy choruses, and some sax. Probably would sound like Galleons to Shrezzers to Origami Button to Coletta. Shrezzers is one of those bands. They put out that first song, Mystery, I think was the name of the first song, that actually has a saxophone solo in it, which is actually super fucking dope. I'm not sure. Maybe they have saxophone in like most of their songs, but the sax solo, particularly in Mystery, is really fucking good. And the vocal patterns and like the singer has a really great voice. He has like a bit of a weird accent that kind of shines through, but he has a really good voice. And yeah, it's like hit or miss for me. Like they put out a song with CJ from The Ireland's Murder, and I really wasn't a fan of the song. But songs like Mystery, I mean, that's a single that I've had playing on repeat on my stuff all the time. Really fucking good. But I mean, that guitarist is the guitarist from Chokran, which is fucking, this dude is absolutely insane and a really good like songwriter to begin with. Coletta is super cool as well. Fifth album, some easy core type album, maybe sound the most mainstream, have a lot of bass in the foreground, but some reason I see more genty styled guitars on the bridges and breakdowns, but really only screaming there. I know that's generic, but whatever, I guess, would sound really pop punk, but more metalcore. Maybe sound like Silverstein to Hollow Front to Void of Vision to The Used to Ocean Grove. I mean, that makes sense. Most of those bands have a bit of a similar sound. They all, for the most part, have done some more metalcore sounding stuff. All right, Cryptic's writing in here. Basically, but I also love the production on That's the Spirit and that dark synth vibe it has with those kind of new metal-ish guitar work. Yeah, and also love Brand of Sacrifice. Yeah, that feature song wasn't my favorite. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, production on Bring Me the Horizon albums, especially like the well, I mean, it's always been good, minus, I guess, their first album. The production isn't great. But everything past that, I guess, I don't know if it's because they have big budget or whatever, but they've always had a knack for good songwriting, catchy songwriting, and but the production's always been on point. I get what you mean, though, with like the dark synth vibe. Sixth album, some new metalcore and post-grunge album sounding like Korn to 3 Days Grace to Dead Blooms. Not much thought into this one, just a nice early 2000s vibe. Additional thoughts, something experimental sounding like Amo by Bring Me the Horizon, North Lane, maybe an EP. Also some post-metal, post-punk, swancore, post-hardcore thing, vibes from Hail the Sun to Can't Swim to Touche Amore. Okay, so in terms of what I would do, I mean, I'm pretty... damn, my comments coming in kind of late was referring to the previous paragraphs I wrote. Yeah, no, I got that. The feature song you're talking about, CJ. But yeah. What would I do? I mean, honestly, having done music, I I've always really enjoyed, I guess, like fast technical deathcore. That's always been like my thing. So anything that's heavy but fast, bands like Shadow of the Colossus or Burning the Masses, like I enjoy when there's a certain amount of speed and there's a certain amount of technicality going into it, but it always has to come down to good songwriting. I have a hard time with, I don't know how to put it. Like, there has to be good song structure, and it can't be like technical for the sake of being technical, in the sense that like you've got fucked up time signatures, but it just doesn't sound good. Like, there's a fine line between what's like technical and listenable, and what's technical and is just technical for the sake of being technical. So, I mean, honestly, if I could write 10,000 albums, I would probably they'd probably all be like that. That being said, okay, I've been toying around with trying to do stuff that's a bit more electronic and stuff. It's not like I'm super heavy into specific bands or anything, but I really enjoy everything that's like the more synthwave, darker synthwave kind of vibe. If anyone knows like Kim Petras, she put out Petras, I don't know. She put out an album. It was all like kind of Halloween themed, but it was very electronic focused and a very big kind of dark synthwave vibe behind soaring pop vocals, and that kind of stuff I fucking love. So I've been toying around with some like kind of synthwave-ish stuff. So if I were to make like something else, I don't think it would be like because the concept of this would be like make a band and have each album be a different genre. I really see these kind of as like different projects and not a same band doing different styles. Because I mean, honestly, I don't think most people are able to do like completely different genres well. You know, like there's only so many things someone could be good at, I guess. I mean, probably there are some composers out there that are just so good at songwriting that they can kind of do whatever, but I think most people, it's a lot more linear. Igor, yeah, true. It's weird for a fan base too, right? Like, you really enjoy an album and then the next album is just completely different. Kind of throws people off. Obviously, if there's like certain elements or like certain ties between everything, you can kind of appreciate it for what it is, and probably maybe attach yourself to these things that transfer over from album to album. Kind of like American Horror Story having the same actors but doing different, like completely different concepts from season to season. Like, if you like the actors, you're probably going to enjoy whatever other seasons they're going to do afterwards. Yeah, I can totally see that. Also, the fan bases would be incredibly toxic, in my opinion, calling the less heavy fans fake or whatever. A good time. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think so. But that's just like the internet, I guess, unfortunately. But yeah, for myself, definitely it would be like a like above all else, technical kind of fast deathcore. That's always what I've been into. I like I would 100% love to like front an emo band, just like a very post, maybe more on the post hardcore side, like lower definition, kind of Broadway type post hardcore band. Yeah, that'd be my vibe. So that, some tech deathcore, and whatever weird synthwave thing I'd be able to pull off. I know it feels good when it's when it's naturally created, like it doesn't have to, like it doesn't have a hard riff just because. Yeah, definitely. Like there's no point in just trying to be heavy for being heavy. But I think to this specific example, I feel like it happens a lot of times when maybe softer bands try, and this was a discussion we had in the Discord earlier this week as well. Heavy bands going becoming less heavy, and how there's the opposite that actually happens as well. And it does happen that you have like some softer bands that try to do heavier stuff, and you're just like, it's kind of lame because you just don't get it. And I think it's the same thing the other way around. Like heavier bands that try to do something maybe a bit more accessible, like when it's not organic, like you can tell when a band is doing it just because they think it'll do well for them. You can just tell right away. Like either you get the style or you don't. I think that's like a lot of bands kind of just try to fake it till you make it kind of thing, and that doesn't work well in music. Cryptic says that would be dope. I love synthwave. Kavinsky is a good artist. Kavinsky's awesome. I love the vibe, like the whole like Drive soundtrack kind of. It's like cliche, but I love that shit. Oh yeah, I agree. Also, I've been seeing breakdowns in non-heavy bands, or at least it has the metalcore structure. Yeah, for sure. This is kind of what we were discussing earlier this week too. Like there's been a lot of in like hyperpop and these different genres that have been taking pretty heavy influence with like black metal and like breakdowns and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool to see, kind of mixing, I guess, like electronic and some heavier genres. It's been a thing for a little bit. I mean, without explicitly having breakdowns, I always come back to like dubstep was always like that weird heavy electronic music, right? It clearly had influences from bands, like heavier bands having breakdowns and stuff like that. Like that's what those drops come down to, essentially. Chicken or the egg, I guess, whichever came first, but you know what I mean. There's clearly been like cross pollination between like these genres over the years. I think that's just becoming more and more of a thing as time goes on. Yeah, but this was an interesting read. I'm actually glad, Cryptic, that we did this on stream, because I would have probably taken like a half hour to try and write something out. But talking about it like this is actually pretty cool. If we go on to some news, I guess, while we're in here, we got Spite's putting out a new song next Friday on February 11th. I'm super stoked for this. We still don't know if they're just putting singles out or if it's I'm so sorry about that. My bad. Still don't know if it's just singles, because I mean they signed to Rise and they put out a single, but there's no mention of an album. There's no mention of whether or not this is just single after single. We didn't even know if there was going to be another single before potentially like an album announcement or something like that. Even between them announcing being on Rise and putting out that first single, there was actually like a few weeks of time between it. So they're really spreading out this release. Whatever that release ends up being, I have a feeling that they're just going to put out some singles. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that for a while, this is what we're going to be getting from Spite. I don't actually mind, because their last single is absolutely sick. So I'm eager to see how Caved In sounds next Friday. Cryptic says, Ram It Down by Dorian. Electra has some metal influence, even though Dorian is a mostly hyperpop artist. I actually do not know Dorian Electra. I'm going to have to go check that out. Ram It Down. Okay. Airy Darks, I don't actually mind if they try something different because you can just tell when something isn't supposed to be there. Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, but that's what it comes down to, right? Like, if it's organic, if they're doing it because it's actually something that's cool and like, is something that they're into, then that's cool. But it just sucks for the fans that actually enjoy a band and the band tries to cap by doing some other random genre that clearly they have no business being in, right? What do we have here? We've got we've got the vocalist of He Is Legend saying, I'm excited to be heading to Nashville very soon to start tracking vocals on He Is Legend's 7th studio album. This is going to turn a few heads, ladies and germs. Get ready. I am super stoked for some new He Is Legend. Obviously, them starting to track vocals means the album won't be here necessarily anytime soon, but it's cool to know that it's actually something that's being worked on. Because they've been the most recent albums have been a lot more rock focused and like less heavy, I guess, than when they started out. But they've been doing some cool stuff. Actually, kind of fits into this conversation that we're having right now. But what was the name of the song? Let me just check. He Is Legend. I think it's something something witchy. What is it? Is that the name of the song? So this is already fucking 7 years ago, but it's very it's a lot softer than their previous stuff, and they've kind of stuck to this kind of genre since. It's fucking amazing. Kind of rock, but with that southern kind of hardcore vibe, which is really cool. Talking about kind of genre bending here, I guess. We've got Jason Richardson putting out a new song also in 2 weeks, I guess on the 18th, featuring Tim Henson. So he's doing music with Tom with Luke Holland. He's been doing with some music with Luke on drums, and the song is also going to feature Tim. So this is super cool. Polyphia actually have a track that features Jason Richardson. So I don't know. I don't really follow all too much within that scene, but I'm assuming these guys are acquaintances at a minimum, but most likely friends or whatever. Obviously, two super talented guitarists. Polyphia, man, I can't get over Polyphia. So I'm really excited to see what Tim can bring to this Jason Richardson song. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. I don't think we really had anything else in terms of, so I just wanted to see for news, I guess. No. That's kind of it. Yeah. That is that. We've got Muro. See, they say how to pronounce it, because I guess everyone had issues with that. But Muro, for people who don't know, are a kind of like genty pop-ish band from like 10, 11, 12 years ago. They put out one album on Media Scare Records, as do most bands that are on Media Scare Records. They put out one album and for whatever reason all break up. Suspicious. It's almost as though the label destroys bands. So, but they've been teasing some new music. They put out these two clips here. these guys were definitely doing something different. This was definitely around the time where a lot of more genty music was becoming popular. But they brought a good mix of like heavy but pop kind of metal. So I've always really enjoyed them. They put that video out, but this one here is the one that I guess I saw.
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, so obviously super small teasers, and also seems like they're doing some stuff recording by themselves. But for what it's worth, that already sounded kind of cool. Let's look at this. This video is fucking cringe in my opinion, but just to give you guys an idea, if you guys don't know of the band, what kind of music they do. Obviously, this is 10 years later. Who knows if it'll even sound like this remotely. I just want to show you guys. It's this kind of like, I guess Volumes is like the closest example to what these guys were doing. But I think they were ahead of Volumes in the sense that they were doing this like genty ripping and stuff, but very pop-centric choruses before anyone else in the genre was doing it. Airy Darks. Nowadays, all we have is the darkness, blackness, and all that ends in mess. Crypto says, I also really like He is Legend. I need to get more into them. Yeah, for sure. All their stuff is great, man. Anyways, this was like, how long ago was this? 2011. So it's been like 11 years. So I am eager to see what they come up with 10 years later. Maybe this is a conversation to have as well. Like it's so weird because I feel like there are a lot of bands that are doing this kind of thing, bands that haven't put out music in like 10 years. Dude, 10 years is so fucking long. Imagine how much, like, normally, if you like kept at your instrument and kept doing music and were in other bands and stuff, like how much 10 years changes you as a person, like musically. So it's weird to see all these bands kind of coming back. Knights of the Abyss have been teasing a return as well. Same kind of thing. They haven't put out anything in maybe not 10 years, but close to. And they're rehearsing right now, prepping for some shows, and I think writing some new music from what I've been seeing. So it's just like, on one hand, it's like super weird if these guys still sound the same as they used to, like 10 years later, and coming out with new music. And on the other hand, it's weird if a band comes out and puts out music that sounds completely different. It's like a catch-22. It's maybe these bands are kind of capitalizing on the fact that like there's like 10 years later is probably a good time for like some sort of revival for certain sounds and stuff. But at the same time, music's moved on, so doing the same shit as you did 10 years ago probably isn't necessarily going to do as well as you think it would. Maybe. I guess it's all circumstantial and depends on what you're doing. But Cryptic says, yo, this song does sound like Volumes. Yeah, eh? There it is. What? Knights of the Abyss is going to be back? Yeah, dude. Let me pull up. I think I've been seeing this on. They've been doing like these. I'll be honest, like some kind of weird, like lame merch drops, and they have like a new logo that's kind of lame. But I mean, they're in a room together. Imagine playing these riffs in 2022, dude. But I would go nuts for like a Knights of the Abyss show, for sure. So this is this is what's weird with like, I've always used Facebook just to follow every fucking band ever, and I'll occasionally have bands like this that haven't posted anything to their page in 10 years do a Facebook post, and I see it and I'm like, oh, I guess these guys are back. I mean, obviously Knights of the Abyss were super influential back in the day, so this is actually fairly cool to see. But yeah, Steve jamming. They've been posting some merch. Right, okay. I guess, yeah, happy 2022. A little update here, albeit quite vague. There's still something in the works that we can fully announce sooner, hopefully, than later. Outside of that, the other things currently in the works, though it might not exactly be what you all expect, it will be awesome nonetheless. So, whatever. I mean, we have absolutely no clue what they're planning or what they're doing, but they're very clearly actively back together and jamming, and I don't know why they'd be jamming if it wasn't to either write some new material and or play some shows. So, yeah, Let's See the Abyss is coming back. Yeah, I mean, they've actually been posting like a lot. I want to see like where the cutoff is. 2021. See, they've been posting since like November, like October, November of last year. They've just been like reposting like Instagram stories and stuff, I guess. But dude, okay, so they've been, okay, I think this is 2021 still. They were kind of teasing this for a while. Come on. I mean, I think these guys have been thinking about it for a while, I guess. See, so it went from October 3rd, 2020 to March 2021. So probably before that, it's just like throwbacks every now and then. Did they just never stop posting? Is that what I'm seeing here? Oh, okay. 2015, 15. 2 years without posting. 2017, just the throwback. 18, 19. Yeah, okay. So they were off socials for about 5 years. When they came to Monterrey, Mexico with Carnifex, I fell in love with the vocalist and his movements. Because of him, I do vocals now. That's sick, dude. Yeah, vocal. Yeah, Knights of the Abyss were. I'm pissed I was never able to see Knights of the Abyss actually live. Because I listened to a hell of Knights of the Abyss when I was. I mean, Knights of the Abyss were one of those bands from like the very beginning of deathcore, and like really kind of helped shaped the genre for sure. Speaking of bands coming back, you know any bands that are making albums this year? So I have a Google Doc and I'm putting all artists or bands I know listed that are releasing projects this year. I'll plug it in the Discord. Okay, so just like bands putting out albums this year in general, or like bands, just from bands making comebacks. I know there's been like a few. I mean, in the like post-hardcore like emo scene, there've been a few bands plugging some comebacks and stuff. In terms of metal and stuff, I mean, Molotov Solution has talked about being in the studio and releasing some new music. They haven't put out anything in a long ass time. Both, but more just new releases. Yeah, I mean, well, there's a ton of just new releases in general, I guess. I'd have to see the list instead of just naming off albums that are already there. Some have already came out, so I gotta edit my doc. Yeah, plug it in the Discord and I'll check it out. Did I have anything else like in terms of news? I think that's kind of it for news. I wanted to look at some, speaking of the Discord, I guess, tour announcement. We got this Rivers of Nile, Fallujah, Alluvial, and Warforged tour that was announced this week. This is a pretty cool tour. We've got select dates with Hypocrisy. Zenith Passage is playing on the California dates, and with Burial in the Sky is playing some dates as well. This is a cool thing. Terrestrial World Tour United States leg. So I don't know if this is the first of many announcements, I guess, from Rivers of Nile. We're going to probably see some overseas stuff eventually happening. I don't know how long they plan this, this world tour for, because obviously right now things are a little more complicated in terms of US bands playing outside of the US. But is this just this is just the USA, because this has been a thing, I guess. I've been saying it every stream, but like every single week I feel like there are tours that have some Canadian dates that are announced on the tour. When it's a North American tour and there happens to be Canadian dates, 9 times out of 10, if not more, it's usually just either Montreal and Toronto or Ottawa and Quebec City. So it's like kind of like the two A market cities or the two B market cities that are hit. It's usually never like more that those usually never like mesh. And then sometimes tours will do like a Vancouver date on the other, like on the West Coast as well. It happens, but it happens a bit less, I think, especially just because it's for one show. Obviously, going through borders and taxes and all these things and like show visas and all this stuff, it can easily be something like a burden for bands to do. So yeah, I mean, all these tours have been being announced with like 2 Canadian dates, 3 tops, and all the Canadian dates have been canceled. I've seen, I think the most recent one, where did I put this? I put this somewhere. Or did I just see it? I don't think I plugged it anywhere. What was the tour that I go on? Oop, wrote that wrong. Here, news. Can I go here? Pretty sure there was something recent. Can't find it. Thought it was something from like today or last night. Anyways, all these tours have been getting the Canadian dates chopped, so this makes sense. It's just a US tour, even though they are coming close to Canada with Brooklyn. Well, I guess that kind of explains it too. It starts in Brooklyn. It would have been kind of weird to do like Canadian dates just before it or like after after first date of tour or something like that. I don't see how Fallujah is fitting in that lineup. I can see it. I mean, all these bands are super prog now, at least. Like Fallujah used to be a lot more just straight up death metal, just like fast technical death metal, but now they've turned into a bit more of a rock band. Rivers of Nile have obviously always been kind of tech, but have definitely taken it more progressive as the years have gone on. Alluvial is probably kind of the more the more straight death metal band of the whole bill. Warforged is pretty progressive as well. I mean, this is to me, this is kind of a bill that is definitely not multi-genre. I feel like these bands all fit kind of the same crowd of people. I think enjoy all these bands. But that's just me. So yeah, that's that. We've got this Dance Gavin Dance, Memphis Mayfire Volumes, and Moontooth Tour. I have no clue who Moontooth is. Yeah, US tour, but it's not from the 23rd to the 20th. Oh, okay. I don't know if it's how it's displayed on the flyer. It seemed like it wasn't that many dates. It seemed like 15 dates or something like that. But okay, it's a month-long tour. Yeah, they have Swan Fest, which is their own festival that they've been doing for, I guess I'm not sure if this is the second year or the third year, but Swan Fest is their big headline festival thing that's kicking off the tour, and then it's going to Washington, Idaho, Kansas, yeah, all over the U.S. Ari Darks, I know, but the last album was weird. I used to love them, but now is just weird. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. There's let me just see. Yeah. There's this, which is the original vocalist from Fallujah. This is his new band. He hasn't put out any music at all since leaving Fallujah. And if you miss old Fallujah, this kind of scratches that itch. It's obviously different, but it's a cool vibe. I dig it. It's kind of like a less deathcore version of Ballad is Murder with Alex Hoffman on vocals. It's cool. I dig this a lot more than you or Fallujah, I'm being honest. I'm just not really big into anything that's way too prog. It's just less my vibe. Anyways, I'm not gonna, well, it's almost done, but I'm assuming what you're saying is, I think I was there with their last tour with the vocalist. Yeah, it's been a while since offense, but it's weird now because I mean, not much has gone on, you know, in like in terms of like things happening for bands. I mean, obviously the pandemic's kind of put like a halt on a lot of things. So there's like a 2 years that's just like it's like bands stop, like didn't put out material for a certain amount of time, or like they put out an album and then they were just on that album cycle, and then it's always like plus 2 years like because of the pandemic that not much happened. So I don't even know what, like I don't even know how to. Alex Hoffman leaves Fallujah. Like I feel like it was super long ago. But yeah, 2017. So I think Fallujah's last album is the only album with that doesn't have Alex on there, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously with the new vocalist, they definitely went in a completely different direction. But I mean, I can understand that as well. My old band did the same kind of thing, you know. Instead of trying to like emulate what someone was already doing, and instead of just like trying to hold on to something in the past, just like going and doing something else, which is again comes back to the whole discussion we had earlier. Sometimes that's what happens, you know, like people will put out an album that sounds completely different, and some of the fans aren't necessarily into it. But yeah, so I don't know how we went from that. Okay, yeah, we were here, but yeah, Dance Gavin Dance. This is a cool lineup. I was supposed to, Dance Gavin Dance, for anyone who doesn't know, is one of my favorite bands. Like I'm super big into anything deathcore and death metal, but I grew up listening to a lot of emo and post-hardcore, and Dance Gavin Dance is one of those bands that were like definitely a favorite band when I was younger, and for like somehow have been able to keep that up like throughout the years. And they were doing such a sick tour that ended up happening, but I mean, there were no Canadian dates, and the US, I was supposed to go see them in the US, and then the pandemic hit, and so then when the tour got rescheduled and then rescheduled again and then rescheduled again, it was still doing the date close to where I live in the US, but there was no way I was going to be able to cross borders. So we unfortunately had to sell our tickets. But that was such a sick tour. It was them. There was Vila Maya. There was, I mean, I know Wolf and Bear was there, and Dance Gavin Dance tour. I'm like, I think I'm mixing things up here, but I want to see, dude, like Dance Gavin Dance, Polyphia, Vila Maya, Adola, and Wolf and Bear. What an insane lineup. I saw them on this tour when they came through with Don Bracco. Saw them in Canada. But this, man, I'm really pissed that this didn't pan out. Anyways. So that's that. Here we've got, this isn't a new tour. Architects had already announced this arena tour, but they announced Sleep Token and Malevolence on the tour, which is super fucking sick. I mean, Sleep Token is just an out of this world band, and them being I mean, obviously picking up a lot more steam as time goes on. They've been garnering a lot of hype, but to play on an arena tour with Architects, that is so fucking cool. Malevolence is like just pissed off and heavy, so it's probably kind of like a cool balance between I feel like Architects is maybe a mix of Sleep Token and Malevolence in terms of heavy, soft, you know? So this is super fucking cool to see. I'm really stoked for Sleep Token. There's this short Full of Hell tour that was announced. And was this January 29th? Yeah. So this was announced this week as well. Convictions with Earth Groans, Bloodlines, and Exit Wounds. Kind of a smaller scale tour, but still it's like a 3-week tour. doing the US as well. So yeah, that's it for chores. Let me see real quick. Yeah, that's kind of it for like news and news, new tours, all that stuff. So let's get into some new music. I've actually got quite a few things here I'm pretty excited to go through. I'm going to start here with Animus and their new song, The Climb. These guys, full disclosure, Animus are some buddies of mine. I did a tour with them. Their bassist, which is now become the vocalist, did for a short while, did some booking for my old band. Seth is a great guy. He has an amazing singing voice, always known it, but he only did like backup vocals, some clean singing on like a song or two on their latest album, but really has an amazing singing voice. They've always had a more deathcore sounding vocal to Animus, and with this new release, from what I understand, most of the band is gone and Seth has become the vocalist with some new members in the band, and this song is super cool. So we're just gonna go through this one because I really enjoy it, and I think if you don't know these guys, definitely should be on the lookout. They signed with Nuclear Blast for their last record and are continuing them moving forward. So that's super cool. The last time I saw the guys, I actually left on tour with them for the Canadian dates of a Flesh God Apocalypse tour that they were doing with Hypocrisy. I went with them to take photos and video. Photos mostly, but that was such a fucking blast. That was like one of the rare tours that actually went like through Canada. Like, halfway through Canada, they like get back down to the States for two dates to kind of skip the prairies, but we did seven or eight Canadian dates. I was kind of linked, like they were doing like East Coast US and then came into Canada and then went back down the West Coast in the US. So it was one of those few actual North American tours doing two countries. From what I read online as well, I guess the members of the band that aren't in the band anymore, I think a lot of the instrumentals for some of the songs that are going to come out, including this one, were actually already composed and were already written with the other members. So it's not like it's too much of a departure from what they were doing beforehand in terms of instruments and all that. Production is good, actually. I really enjoy how it sounds. Yeah, I love this chorus. Cryptic says, if you want to look at the doc, I plugged it in. Oh yeah, cool. Let me pull it up on my phone while this is playing. Okay, this is cool. I wasn't expecting cool fonts and all cryptic. Yeah, I'm really anticipating that new Charlie XCX album. Same with Bad Omens. I usually don't necessarily enjoy songs that are on the longer side, and songs that like kind of, I don't want to say drag on, that's not the word I'm looking for, but have these like more ambience focused parts, I guess. I have a hard time with that, but Animus is good at keeping those bits heavy at the same time, so I don't know. I love those like choirs in the back. I think I can hear the Flesh God Apocalypse vibes from the tour. This actually kind of sounds Fallujah-esque. Definitely a Fallujah riff. Yeah, they've always been great with good melodies, like solos with cool melodies. That's definitely always been a strength of Animus in my eyes. Yeah. So yeah, that's Animus, The Climb. I don't know if, well, I don't know. I know I can find this. Let me see if I can. Actually vlogged. Kind of vlogged the stint I did with them doing photos and stuff. This was such a cool fucking tour. That's Seth, guy on bass. He's now doing vocals. Great band live, man. Anyways, Animus, good guys. Check them out. What do we have? What do we got? All right, this one's cool. I actually didn't fully listen to the song yet, but this is Austin Dickey. Does a lot of stuff with Jared Dines on YouTube and stuff. He has a ton of covers on his own YouTube channel and stuff, and this is his new deathcore project, which actually sounds fucking sick. I don't know who else is the band actually, but I mean, this came out a couple of days ago, and there's like nothing else on their socials aside from they were teasing the song in maybe one post and then posted the song the next day, or maybe they didn't even tease them, they just like posted the song right away and that's it. So we don't really know anything else about the band in terms of what their future plans are, if this is just a single or if it's with an album, or we don't really know much. But like, is this an actual band that wants to tour and stuff like that? We don't know. If it's just an internet project. Obviously these guys all met up to do the music video, but that doesn't mean they necessarily want to tour. This riff is sick. Kind of wretched vibes. Okay, there. Yeah, a lot of old school sounding deathcore riffs. Like riffs like this. Oh. It's kind of all over the place. It's weird how there's like different ways of doing fast vocals. Like this was kind of a bit more like an Attila kind of thing, but you would never compare Attila fast vocals with Arcspire, for example. Like there's like a different vibe to both of them, and I've never really been into like fast vocals in that sense, like in the Attila kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, when Attila first came out, I thought it was super cool, but I just think as time goes on, I'm like, I don't really care for it anymore. This song was overall, it started off really fucking cool. It has some really awesome riffs in there, but I feel like maybe with a bit more time and just maybe doing something that is, from a songwriting perspective, is a bit more cohesive. Maybe that's what they're going for, and the fan base they're going to find is people that like that kind of sporadicness and those different influences like meshing together. But personally, I'd have enjoyed if it was just like straight like old school deathcore from start to finish. but cool song nonetheless. I'm like saying that as though it's a negative thing. It's definitely not. Just yeah. Okay, we've got a song to look out by Wishender, which is another band. This is their first song as well. Concert photographer that I follow is the vocalist for this band. He's been posting like vocal like covers and videos online every now and then. He's kind of been shy about it all, but at the song of the band, it's a cool song. Shots for the Girls by Attila has some of the fast vocals. Cool song in my opinion. Well, that's the thing. I can take it from one song, you know, one song with those like fast vocals and a bit. It's like it's cool there, but like a full album, like because I think for Attila it's a bit more of a shtick, right? Omar coming in with the fat vocals. Cool visualizer. I'm not sure who else is in this. They're a band from Toronto, or that area generally. I don't know if I know anyone else. Let me try and look them up. That's definitely the type of vocals that people nowadays fucking love. Andy Allen, Joshua Card, Matthew Burden. No, I don't think I know any of them. Okay, so the guitarist actually does some mixing. I'm pretty sure he's the one who produced the song. Yeah, I don't know anyone else. Yeah, really dig this song. It's like just straight super heavy for the most part, and then this whole bit is super cool as well. Rick here for the chugs and the wizard cosplay. Jeez. I've got this song was super cool. This being their debut single, this is really fucking cool. I'm eager to see what else they do. Hey Rick, what's going on? We've got fellow friend of the Discord, Greg. Greg and I have been talking every now and then for the past while, for the past few years, and And recently he added me to a Discord with a bunch of his friends because a bunch of them play Halo all together. So I jumped in for some Halo games and then just been kind of interacting with that Discord since then. And then Greg proceeded to putting one of my old music videos in the Discord, but it's one of those. Let me bring it up. It's one of those things. A lot of the music videos we did, we kind of had these last minute decisions pop up, and me putting a cape on doing a wizard cosplay was probably not the best last minute decision, in my opinion. I just want to show the wizard. Oh no. Anyways, he posted in the Discord and I said, please do not judge the wizard cosplay. Probably close to a decade at this point. But me and Greg have been talking. I know he's listened to Depths of Hatred for that time, but I'm not sure we've talked since the beginning all that much. But what was I wanting to show? Where the fuck was I before I was thrown off by the wizard cosplay? Let me just see something here. 1 second. Let me just look something up real quick. Why am I so confused right now? Rick Moran is... Are you fucking Greg? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Why you got a shit name like that? So confused right now. Let's check out Sinister. Ari Darks, that song is fire. Do you remember a show in the basement of San Antonio with Alter Beast? Yeah, there was like 3 people at that show. me and the guys in the band always bring up that show. That chugging is Jesus. Something with the mix on this that I'm not sure. I have no idea who his band was. I clicked on it, saw it this week, thought it was cool, and I was like, hey, let's listen to it on the stream. It's like cool songwriting. I just wish the production was a bit different. Airy Darks, I was one of them, dude. Okay, let's talk about that show. We show up to that. What was that? That was with, that was the Alter Beast and I guess Animus too. And our good friends in Aether. And so we were that for anyone listening, this basement show in San Antonio. Basically, there's like there's a venue. I forget what it's something. Airy Darks, what's the name of the venue that's on top of it? Something with rabbit in the name. I forget the exact name. But so there's a venue on the on the main floor, and then to the fucking side in the back of the venue, there's like a weird ass door that just leads down to a basement. But when I say basement, it's not like a decent basement of a venue. It's just literally like kind of looks like a shitty basement you'd get tortured in and be kidnapped and held there against ransom. That's kind of what the place looked like. There was no stage. It was just like an empty room. I remember there being basically no electricity, so we had to plug all our things to play. But like, it was just we had to plug everything onto like one power bar. I'm not even sure if there was like a PA for like the vocals to come out of, and we had to deal with that ourselves. It was like the most shot kind of scenario. It was ridiculous. But then, if I remember correctly, there was like a tiny ass bar like in the corner of the room, and there were like we're saying so we were a 4-band package, and there were 3 other local bands. And so there's 7 bands and gear for 7 bands in this downstairs basement small ass room, and like 3 people show up, and I guess Airy Darks being in the chat right now being one of them, and then so the locals played, and then Airy says, I remember that even the local bands headed out after they played. So like literally when we started playing, there was the other band members from the tour, thank God, because just us, like we were a group of 20 guys, right, de facto. But like no one else, right? So maybe some people were chilling in the van, some people were whatever. I remember when Alter Beast were playing, because they were headlining, they played last. All the guys in the other bands, we were all just like, okay, we gotta do something. So we kind of like moshed and circle pitted alone, but at least there was like something going on. Like they played to us basically. It says, it was a super underground show with only new local bands. But you see, sometimes like new local bands can bring out a lot of people because it's like it's their first shows, right? So it's like it actually gets some people out. But that was not the case for that show. And the whole point of this story is me and the band always reference this specific show because my drummer at the time, Carl, I think he was setting up his drums, like he was tearing down and he was taking his drums off stage and was putting them like close to the bar, beside the bar. And the person that was at the bar started giving him shit, like, yo, you're blocking the bar, like what the fuck are you doing? And I think like these two dudes come down the stairs to like back this bartender up and are like, yo, dude, you got to put your shit somewhere else, whatever. There's no space. Like, we can't do anything. We're just tearing down. It's like, and Carl being super fucking irritated by the situation. He's being told, yo, like you're blocking the way in case like customers want to buy stuff at the bar. And Carl just turns to the dudes. So what customers? And these two fucking jacked as fuck dudes, like they knew, I mean, they almost got into a fight. Like it got like super fucking tense all of a sudden. And then obviously like Carl, like we're all a bunch of French dudes. Carl isn't the most English speaking person on the planet, so there's already like a language barrier to begin with, but he was fucking pissed, as were the other guys. So I don't even remember what the other circumstances were, and but it was just, I just know that like ever since that we've been saying what customers every time we're like in a place where there's no one or people trying to give us shit. That's been a phrase that we've been saying ever since that that basement show in San Antonio where that you were at, Area Darks. So yes, long story short, I do remember the basement show in San Antonio with Alter Beast. Oh, dude. Yeah, that was something else, man. We honestly, like, over the years of playing shows, I haven't played like, I mean, we've played our fair share of shows to not many people, but that show was something else. We played another show in New Jersey at Championship Bar, and like that was another show where there was like literally 2 people at the show. There's definitely been like other like shows like that, especially on tour. I mean, whichever way you look at it, you're gonna end up playing a show on a Monday night, like in a random buttfuck middle of nowhere city. Like it's unfortunate, but that's just, it has to happen unless you're on tour and only playing 2 days a week on the weekends, right? So that stuff's gonna happen. But all that to say, we were pretty lucky for the most part. We didn't have that many shows like that, and ironically enough, those are usually the shows that we end up having these inside jokes for and and weird shit like that happening, because everyone's on edge because it's fucking shit, or just because it's so ridiculous that we're even in this situation to begin with, that somehow that becomes a story. But yeah, that San Antonio show, man. San Antonio is a cool city, though. We kind of explored a bit. It's a nice place. I think Tony, the bassist for Depths, he actually, out of all the places he could have decided to go back to, he went on a trip to San Antonio, and I think it was literally just like no other purpose than just to visit, because he had really enjoyed the little San Antonio that he had seen when we were at that show, actually. So, yeah. It's bugging me so hard not remembering the name of that venue. Okay, moving on to some more non-serious jams. Got Trek to Me, Apocalyptic Squirt Tsunami. I'm embarrassed even to say the song name, but it is what it is. Those music videos, ridiculous. But the song actually goes pretty fucking hard. I'm really fucking down with this band. It's always the same story whenever I listen to bands like this. Like, this dude's vocals, when he just does like regular lows, they're so fucking good. And I wish he didn't do those like slam, like squeals. I wish he just did the sick ass gutturals. Oh yeah, and this song, like, yeah, right here, it kind of fucking psychs you out. I wish they put a breakdown, but it goes into a slam bit. Like, after this, it's such a cool build-up. Still goes hard, but... The dude couldn't help himself from laughing. I love this dude's vocals, man. Dude, right here, when he punches the two dudes. Look at the guy in the middle, how he can't hold back his laugh. Yeah, these guys get me every time. This is like just off to the side, like just style of band that I have a real hard time getting into, but there's something about them, man. I always go back to their music. It's like not my typical style usually, but this band is really fucking good. I think we're gonna do one last one. This is way less heavy right now. We're gonna end this on a softer note. This is Mothica. This is her new song. She did a rendition of one of Bring Me the Horizon songs. Kind of blew up on TikTok and stuff. And then this song in particular is super Bring Me the Horizon inspired, but it's like in the best way possible. It's really fucking good. Super poppy kind of metalcore with nothing heavy. I mean, this like sounds like it Bring Me the Horizon chorus.
And she couldn't even talk, just another OD, what a bummer. They say one is too many when enough is enough. These thoughts get too heavy.
She's got a really good voice too. Some of her other, most of her other stuff is pretty different, but again, she's been really just putting out singles and stuff. So, I mean, she could afford to do different stuff, I guess. I hope she keeps this direction though, because I really fucking dig it. Company says, then you gotta look at the dog. Yeah, I can pull it up. I checked it out on my phone. It's cool. I'm gonna take a better look at it too, and I'll hit you up in the Discord as well with I guess albums to add. I'm sure there's some stuff we can do. So yeah, that's that is Mothica. If you don't know her, check her out. She's got some really cool stuff. And yeah. Okay, let me close this up, this up. Okay. Okay, we got this Google Doc for upcoming releases. Let me get that out of the way. Cryptic thing, I'll edit it so you can make changes if you want. Also, holy crap, that sounded very Bring Me. Yeah, it sounded very Bring Me the Horizon. But honestly, for how big of a band and how influential Bring Me the Horizon are, I don't feel like there are many bands that are actually doing the Bring Me the Horizon sound. But I definitely think there's like a space for more bands in the genre. I get though that this is like very copy paste Bring Me the Horizon. So obviously maybe just having something slightly different would already be but yeah, the music was louder than you were. I didn't hear what you said about the dog. Oh yeah, well I'll open it up, and I'm gonna have to look at it off stream as well and just actually take in what you've got in there, and then I'll shoot you like a list of maybe albums that I know are coming out, or I see that are coming out that wasn't in the doc. Sounded like a less heavy ammo, and that's the spirit. Yeah, and it's like all the way down to like the samples that they were using and stuff, kind of like Paris. Yeah, that's true. Kind of like Paris. Paris is really good, man. I'm not a fan of like everything they do, but they put out some amazing singles. Let me rectify this. I don't like everything that they do now, because I don't know what the name of the albums are. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Paris. Like, yeah, All We Know of Heaven, All We Need of Hell, and White Noise. I mean, I've listened to those albums so fucking much. Use Me, like, some of the songs were amazing. Death of Me is one of probably my favorite Paris song, but I wasn't a fan of necessarily everything on it. Hallucinations was really fucking good as well. I actually haven't. They have like a song they put out for the Arcane series or whatever. I haven't actually checked that out yet. But yeah, Paris is great. I think they're doing a lot of things in a similar fashion as Bring Me the Horizon. I think actually, like, in terms of integrating with like movies and video games and stuff like that. I think they fit that bill well too, and I've been doing an awesome job at it. So yeah, okay, so we've got I guess most anticipated albums of 2022. Okay. Yeah, like I said earlier, Bad Omens and Charlie XCX are two albums I'm really fucking eager for. Probably LJ too. I didn't know there was a new album coming out. I'm gonna have to check that out. So confirmed releases. Okay, so you got it split up with confirmed releases and rumored or unnamed. This is a bit of a hard section, I guess. Well, I guess it'd be like if we heard of something, like we don't have like an album name or release or like official announcement, but like some of the band members maybe talked about being in the studio, or the band talked about being in the studio, and that's all we know. There's definitely like a ton of those. Here's the Veil, man. I'm like I love the last album they put out and could not wish for anything else than another Pierce the Veil album, but at the same time, I love their stuff so much. I have a fear of being disappointed. I really hope it's gonna come out good. As long as it's well produced and there's some good songwriting in it, I'm sure they'll knock the rest out of the park. But yeah, I'm eager for some new Pierce the Veil. Grand Sacrifice too. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep in touch anyways. Either way in the Discord and try and see if I can find some more stuff to add to this. Yeah, I think that's going to I think it's gonna close it out. And how long we been here? 2 hours? Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, yeah, I think we'd call it there. I say this every week. I always try to talk about whatever stuff I've got going on video-wise for the channel, and as of lately I've been kind of struggling to put out some new content that isn't just rehash content from the streams. There's nothing from this stream that I'm gonna make a video about, but I do have a video that's going to be coming out as soon as I can finish it. Most of the work is done. I just kind of need to finalize it and polish it. It's different than what I usually do on the channel, and I don't want to give it away because I think it's kind of a funny idea. But I haven't been this excited about putting a video out in a while, so I'm gonna try and work on that this weekend and hopefully be able to put it out as soon as possible. Arian Darks, are you just scrolling music or are you taking recommendations? I mean, if you're part of the stream, I'm always down for people like recommending music. I try to stick to mostly newer stuff, or at least at minimum stuff that I don't necessarily know about, unless I'm showing something to add to whatever we're talking about. But definitely I'm gonna call it here anyway. So not for this stream, but for future streams, whenever you're here, do definitely post some recommendations, and I'll see to it for sure. Not saying I can get to necessarily everything, but I for the record, I guess I just have like a list of let's say, can I pop this up? My bad. Like here, wait, no. Here. I just have like a list of stuff I wanted to get through for the day and stuff. So yeah. I usually just keep tabs of whatever's new releases and stuff like that, and that's what I share on the stream. But if you have any recommendations, definitely shoot them my way. Cryptic, yo, by the way, that Fortnite metal track I shared was fire. I don't know if you missed it. No, I saw that. I commented about it, I think. Yeah, it's actually fucking dope. Definitely like a big Doom vibes. It's actually super fucking heavy. Was not expecting that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for today. Thank you guys. Thanks, Airy Darks, Cryptic. Thank you guys for hanging. Thanks to anyone that's still here or watching on the replay. And yeah, I'll be here next Saturday for sure. I think I have an appointment like at noon or something like that for getting my third COVID booster shot or whatever, but I will be on after, as soon as I'm back from that. So it might not be, I think, yeah, I did like a 1 p.m. stream. It might more be 2 p.m. next week, something like that I start. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys either in the Discord, in my new video this week, or next Saturday for next week's stream. All right, thank you guys for watching. Peace.